InDesign also gives you the option to create a dashed stroke. If I do that, it allows me to create a custom dash by selecting the distance of the dashes and the gaps in between them. So if I start, because this is relatively wide, the dashes look sort of narrow, so let's start with a 36-point dash. And we'll make the gap 12 points. And you can see, I'm going to change that gap color so it's a little clearer. I'm going to set it back to none. And you can see now I have these dashes with these smaller gaps in between. It gives me the option to enter 6 different settings for the dashes and gaps. So if I were to enter a smaller dash here, you can see that now I have a longer dash and then a smaller dash in between. It also gives you the option to try to get them as even as possible. So I have it set to adjust dashes and gaps. This will give me the most even corners so that I don't end up with a part of a dash at the edge of a corner. That can be useful for trying to optimize the look of your stroked object. The last thing I want to note about strokes is that you can actually create a custom stroke by going up to the panel menu and selecting Stroke Styles. If I now say New, it will give me this editing bar. This shows a dash stroke, but I can change the type to a stripe. And then, by clicking and dragging, I can change the settings of what that stroke will look like. If I go ahead and say Add, it will now offer me this stroke as an option. So here's my new stroke style right here. If I click on that, I can then edit it again and save it maybe with a name, My Stroke. OK, so there you see. And if I say OK, you'll now see that my stroke is added down here at the bottom and can be applied to my objects. So that's a little bit about how to work with strokes and fills, which gives you a lot of control and creativity over the objects that you place on your page.